Video, we did an overview of all the tools that we've used up to this point and why you would use certain ones depending on the situation. So now we're moving on over here to the pen tool. So now that we have the pen tool selected, let's turn this off real quick and just give you an idea of how it works. So the pen tool allows you to click with a starting point, and then if you notice, it will actually follow you. So you can go and click and make points. And just like the other tools that we've used, you have to finish where you started. You see a little tiny circle show up with the pen tool, and when you click, it's done. But here's the difference. If you zoom over to here, there's something called paths. So if you click on paths, you'll see the path that you just drew called a work path. So whenever you have a work path, you need to turn it and save it. Because if you go to make another one, it will overwrite. So let me explain what that means. So if I were to go and just make another one all of a sudden, watch what happens over here where it says work path. If I start to draw again, it will, if I double click on this, and we'll just call this box. Okay, up here in the corner, we'll call it box, and we'll hit OK. Because there will be times when you work on a project and you'll have multiple paths, okay? So this is like anything else. You can click over in the gray spot, and then you can click on it and turn it on. Now, just like we were doing before, now I'll show you one more time. Click over here, and now click here, and it's activated. Now, once again, if you hover over the shape that you just drew, and you hold the Command key, it will turn into a selection. So this is great, because this is an easy way to save your path, and then at any time turn it into a selection, okay? So let's say we want to go and make another path. So we go back to the pen tool, but if we start drawing, it's just going to add to the first one, okay? So we have to remember to turn off the path. So if I go and make a new one, you can see how that work path box showed up again on the right-hand side right here. And then I can go and I can make my other path, okay? And then I can call this, I don't know what this is. We'll just call it funky shape, okay? And now we have that. Now, why would this be important to make multiple layers? I'm sorry, multiple paths. Because let's say you have a picture with 10 things in it and you need to path out every individual one. So you can make paths for every single one that you want to work on, okay? So let's check our settings here in our paths. So if we look up top, we have our regular pen tool, and it's on path. We want to make sure it says path, okay, not shape. These are turned on, make selection, mask, shape. So we want to leave this setting here, okay, where it's called exclude overlapping shapes, okay. Now you can combine, subtract, there's all types of different things. You can play with that. You'll also see here where you can align and move things around. You really don't need to use that. But let's jump over to here. We want to do auto add and delete, but the most important one that I like is your path options, okay? So you can see right now, you can actually change the color and the thickness of the line that you're drawing, and then what's called the rubber band. So let's explain what that is. Here's my path, and you can see it's red, okay? And that is one of the settings that I did. Now if I go back, I can go thinner or even thicker. Personally, I think 2 is good enough because you don't want it to overlap into your drawing or the thing you're trying to trace, I might add. So then you can pick whatever color you want. Do you want it to be green? It can be green, okay? But pick a color and a shape that works, or size that works for you. Personally, like I said, I like to be around 2 pixels, sometimes 1. I like the light red, and let's say I want to stick around 1. I'm going to leave it on 2 just because it's easier for you when you watch these tutorials. And if I turn the rubber band off, watch what happens. Okay, it won't connect until I go and click that point. Okay, so as a new user, I would tell you that you should use the rubber band feature. Okay, because it will follow you and it makes things a little bit easier, helps you judge where you should click next. So let's leave rubber band on. Okay, if you find it's too annoying, then turn it off. Okay, but those are the overviews of the tool. Now, once again, let's show you something cool. Now I want to turn on this path, okay? Remember, like I said before, you hold the command key and you see this and you click on it. Now it turns into a selection. So let's go over here and we'll make a new layer, okay? And now, as you can see, here's my shape. I can do whatever I want. I can move it around, okay? Then I can go back like before, go back to the other path. I'll pick funky shape, okay? I'll turn that into a selection, and then I'll go to box and turn that into a selection and make sure I'm on the right layer, okay? And last but not least, okay, I will go back, and now there's all my shapes. So I can move them out of the way. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. So that's why you would want to make multiple work paths and selections, okay? So coming up next, we're going to show you how to be able to adjust your work path and then trace around an object.